So guys, I don't know if you've ever been to India, but we're going to step inside India's most colorful desert festival today with our festival feature, our festival article of the month. And we're going to kind of wander around and check out this really interesting place in northwestern India.
Very, very cool. I think for a lot of people, myself included, discovering that there's a desert festival in India is already a bit of news, right? When we think of India, we think of maybe jungles and elephants. You might think of the mountains up in the north, the Himalayas and stuff. But yes, they do have deserts. Yeah, I guess we're talking about, as you said, northwest India up towards Pakistan, where, mountainous, dry. I can see that. Not as big, of course, as like the Gobi or the Sahara deserts or that type of place, but just a dry, dusty place. And when you think of a dry, dusty place like that, camels come to mind.
Camels do come to mind.
Camels are a big part of the colorful desert festival that we will be reading about.
And camels are things that some people really don't like because they hiss.
And they spit.
Yeah.
And they bite.
And they aren't very fun to ride,
and
although
they're
everybody's
famous
like,
for being grumpy.
Let's go ride the camels. But supposedly, I've never done it, but my husband has. And he's like, I hate riding camels.
It doesn't look super comfortable.
We're not going to do this ever again. No more camel riding.
Maybe for an experience, but I'd probably just want to stay far away because I don't want to be bitten or spat at or get bad attitude from a camel. But maybe these camels do not do that because they're the best camels that they can find in India.
Best camels ever.
That's a big part of the Pushkar Festival, but that is by not even close to everything that you'll see there. There's so much more. So I think it's a good time to get into the Pushkar Fair and find out what's going on in the deserts of India.
So let's listen to the whole article right now.
Inside India's most colorful desert festival. Picture this. Contestants are walking gracefully across a stage, competing for the highly desired title of Most Beautiful. However, these participants aren't fashion models, they're camels. Welcome to the extraordinary world of the Pushkar Fair, where beauty contests take on an entirely different meaning. The Pushkar Fair is held annually in the small desert town of Pushkar, India, usually in November. It began as a livestock trading event where farmers and herders gathered to buy and sell camels, horses, and cattle. Over time, it has grown into a major cultural carnival that attracts thousands of tourists from around the world. Today, the atmosphere is joyful and energetic, filled with music, laughter, and the lively bustle of market stalls. One of the most anticipated events at the Pushkar Fair is the traditional dance performances. Dancers dressed in bright traditional costumes move gracefully to the rhythm of folk music. Their energy and passion are contagious, drawing the audience into the heart of the performance. Another highlight is the longest mustache competition, where local men proudly show off their impressive facial hair. Some mustaches are over 2 meters long. The tug-of-war tournaments also generate tremendous enthusiasm, with teams from different villages competing fiercely while spectators cheer loudly from the sides. The Camel Beauty Contest is undoubtedly the star attraction. Owners carefully groom their animals, trimming their fur into creative patterns and decorating them with bright fabrics and colorful ornaments. Judges evaluate the camels based on their health, grooming, and overall appearance. The bond between each camel and its owner is evident, with every detail reflecting the time, care, and effort put into getting ready for this grand event. As the sun sets, the Pushkar Fair continues to shine with tradition, color, and celebration, a cultural experience that stays in people's memories long after the desert dust settles.
So we're in India, and we're in a desert, and it's colorful because there's a festival of celebration, right? And I like the way our article today starts. Picture this, and then there's the colon after that. And now we're going to get details that are going to create a visual image in our heads of what's going on all around us, because I don't really have a concept of a colorful desert festival and what it should be like. But we're going to find out from our article because it says, picture this. See if you can get this picture in your head. Contestants are walking gracefully across a stage, competing for the highly desired title of Most Beautiful. So there are contestants, people, or maybe in this case, animals that are competing in a contest are called contestants. It can be a beauty contest. It can be a food eating contest to see how many hot dogs you can eat in the shortest amount of time. It can be a strength contest where you see if you can carry the most weight across the line. It can be a wife-carrying contest. I've seen these happen too. And the people who compete in those contests are contestants. So yeah, here we're looking for the desired title, the highly desired. Everybody wants this title of Most Beautiful. But wait a second, we're picturing this. Here's another detail. However, these participants aren't fashion models. They are not these beautiful long, lanky men and women who are gorgeous. They're camels. So yeah, if you know camels are one of the ways that you're going to get across a desert. You're going to be able to ride long distances on camels because they can carry a lot of water in their humps, whether it's one hump or two, and they can last a long time in the desert because of that. So we're in the desert. We got a beauty contest. And they're camels.
Very, very interesting. I guess camels and models can both be kind of grumpy on the day of a big show, a lot of pressure, and maybe they haven't had enough to eat.
Both hissing and spitting.
Both hissing and spitting. Let's see how it goes. Welcome to the extraordinary fair of the Pushkar, or extraordinary world, I should say, of the Pushkar Fair. Pushkar is the town that we're in, where beauty contestants take on an entirely different meaning. Well, it is kind of a beauty contests, I should say, take on an entirely different meaning. Well, it is definitely a beauty contest, but yes, it takes on a different meaning. When something takes on something different, it appears in a different form. It's presented in a different way. We might talk about someone being the king of cool. He's so cool. He's the king of cool. But when you find out the guy was lost in the snow last winter and almost died, freezing to death, wow, the king of cool certainly takes on a different meaning there. He was so cold, he almost died. Not only is he a cool dude, but he almost froze to death. So calling him the king of cool takes on a different meaning. The Pushkar Fair, it says, is held annually in the small desert town of Pushkar, India. You can look it up on a map. Usually in November. Well, that's good news. So it's in the winter months or the late fall. So definitely going to be a little bit cooler than it would normally if they had it in, July or August or something crazy. So that's good. And it says it began as a livestock trading event where farmers and herders gathered to buy and sell camels, horses, and cattle. Many of these sort of rural festivals that they have today, that take place in farming communities and stuff, they have evolved over time. I mean, state fairs in America, which are now famous for all the wonderful junk food and the fun rides like roller coasters and Ferris wheels. They often started in the same way as places to buy and sell cows and horses and pigs and things. People would raise their farm animals and bring them out every year to sort of trade and swap and buy and learn. But now, of course, as fewer people are working on the land, they've evolved. They've changed into things. But it began in that way as a livestock trading event. Livestock is a good general sort of farming term for animals that are raised on a farm. I'm not sure we would include maybe chickens in livestock.
Some do, yeah.
But certainly pigs, sheep, goats, and of course cows, horses, things like that. So basically things that don't grow out of the ground, but things, animals that farmers
They're
raise.
Alive. They're
meat.
Livestock.
Yeah, exactly, for meat and for other uses. So it started that way, and farmers and herders being kind of like farmers, but ones who tend to animals. You could actually be out there like cowboys or like shepherds, sheep herders, which is, of course, where we get the word shepherds from, actually protecting the animals and, keeping them safe as they wander around and eat grass and, try to avoid them getting eaten by wolves or other things. Or it could just be that type of farmer. No, I don't grow corn or wheat or rice. I'm a herder. I grow cows. I grow horses. I raise cows. We don't say grow. I raise cows or horses or something like that. And of course, this being India, they weren't raising cows certainly to sell and to eat. They were raising camels to use, and horses and cattle. But cattle, of course, in India are a sort of a sacred animal. so they're used more as working animals to pull plows and such.
And over time, it has grown into a major cultural carnival that attracts thousands of tourists from around the world. So it was this little gathering trading event, and it's turned into a carnival. So there's going to be probably great things that are local to eat and some really colorful things to buy, special little stalls where you can go and get things to buy, and maybe some rides and maybe some competitions like this beauty contest, I guess. A lot of times in America, when we have a carnival, we have, all sorts of fun fair rides, and we have this, I can't think of the word for it. Spooky house. Why is it not coming?
Haunted house?
Well, yeah, no, there's another word for it, I think.
Ghost house?
Yeah, something along these lines that you go and walk through, or the House of Mirrors.
House of Horrors.
House of Horrors, right?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, lots of people are coming. They're coming from all over the world. Today, the atmosphere is joyful and energetic. It's very happy. It's very fun. It's filled with music, laughter, competitions to find the prettiest camel, and the lively bustle of market stalls. So bustle, a lot of times when you hear bustle, you hear about the hustle and bustle. It means the motion and commotion of a busy spot, like the main street in a town is full of hustle and bustle. There's lots of things going on. People are walking around. People are selling things. People might have little stores where you can go in and buy things. And in this hustle and bustle, it's got the market stalls. So in the carnival, you're walking around, you want to buy something, you might go not to a store because you're out at the carnival grounds, we call it. And there are these little places where people are just set up for the day and they're selling what they have. And those are called stalls. And in those market stalls, they'll sell foods, they'll sell desserts, they'll sell maybe jewelry, they'll sell maybe some animal hides that can be used for clothing or decoration or purses and things like that. So you'll find stalls that are selling all sorts of things. Let's listen now to our Chinese teacher.
听众朋友大家好，我是安娜。我们今天带大家来看一个选美比赛哟。好啦，其实不是选美比赛，其实也算是选美比赛。我要讲的是这个选美比赛在英文当中其实有2种不同讲法啦。至少我们看到比赛会用 contest 嘛，比如说第一段的最后面这一句的第3句 beauty contest。contest 这个竞赛是任何比赛都可以讲比赛哦，可是我们觉得那个选美比赛就是要选最漂亮的女生，然后呢最有才能，品格也很好，人也很聪明的，有没有？那种的选美比赛在英文当中叫做 beauty pageant。P-A-G-E-A-N-T Beauty Pageant。 可是我们今天要选的不是人我们今天要选的是骆驼 camels。 好，那是什么样的一个节庆呢？就我们刚刚说第一段的第3句其实是 The Pushkar Fair， 就是那个印度的一个普什卡嘉年华。可是在第一段第3句我们特别注意一下 The Pushkar Fair 逗点之后，它是一个补充说明的关系子句，然后你看到 where，那这时候你就觉得有点讨厌因为有时候这个关系词你不知道到底什么时候用which，什么时候用 where。 好，注意 where 是副词，副词在英文当中在句子里面是可以无限遍被添加的，也就是说 where 这个副词之后一定是完整子句啦。那你说完整子句是什么意思？就是不缺主词也不缺受词啦。那我怎么判断？我们以关系子句的动词 take on 来出发，动词前面有主词 beauty contests，on 介系词后面也有受词 an entirely different meaning， 所以这一格的 where 这个关系词就不可能用which因为which只能够当主词或受词，它就是所谓的副词。那在这里呢，我们就直接来看第2段的缘起，为什么会有这个 Pushkar Fair 呢？我们来看第2句，这里同样也有一个 where， 你有没有注意到 where 一直到句尾的地方把它左右括号起来？换句话说 where后面是完整的句子，我们看到的是有农夫然后他们就会还有这些养畜者他们会来买卖骆驼马啦、牛只等等的。好，先解题，既然看到买卖，就表示第2格呢一定是一个交易性质的 event 的一种活动，所以第2题用的是 trading。 那在这里句当中，我们又复习了关复的用法。可是来到第2段的第3句，它就是限定用法关系子句我们可以稍微看看，你看 over 一直到句尾这边的第3句 先行词是 a major cultural carnival 画起来，后面的 that 到句尾你说 that 也可以换成 which 对不对？在这里我们在括号里面把动词 attract 抓出来，你会发现它前面就是主词，所以 that 这个关代名词就当成关系子句的主词耶，原来是这样子分的。所以我们今天呢，在这个文意选填的这个文章当中啊，因为遇到了这个关复跟关代，我们特别会着重在这个文法句型上面的解析。
All right, we're going to take a quick break and then we'll be right back. All right, so we're at this market, we're at this carnival, we're at this celebration, we're at this fair, and one of the most anticipated events at the Pushkar Fair is the traditional dance performances. I thought they were going to say that beauty contest for camels.
Oh, I thought the camels were doing the dancing. Maybe
that's true.
That's going to happen in a few more years. It says dancers dressed in bright traditional costumes move gracefully to the rhythm of folk music. These are human dancers dressed in bright traditional costumes, moving gracefully to the rhythm of folk music. I can't stop imagining a Bollywood movie here.
Yes.
And I'm sure it would be kind of like a scene from a Bollywood movie come to life, just a little bit hotter and dustier than some of the scenes in those films. But, you know, music, dance, colorful clothing, these are all big parts of Indian society and how Indian people celebrate and stuff, and they would definitely have that there. Although the music, of course, would be different, this being a different region of India, but still a very wonderful, celebratory, fun energy going on and lots to see and do. It says their energy, that's the dancers' energy, and their passion are contagious.
Oh, no.
Drawing the
That's
audience.
Not good.
No, it's their energy. Don't worry. It's not their COVID or, something like that. No, their energy and passion are contagious, spread through the crowd, in the same way that laughter or excitement can be contagious. I'm just here, but all of a sudden I'm feeling it too, because everyone around you has the same sort of mood, and there seems to be sort of an energy that passes from one person to another. That's why we call it contagious, the same way that a virus can pass from one person to another. And it draws the audience into the heart of the performance. So you might go there going, I don't want to do this. This isn't going to be fun. And then half an hour later, you're dancing along with everyone else. This is the greatest thing ever, because it's so contagious. Another highlight... This sounds interesting. Another highlight is the longest mustache competition, where local men proudly show off their impressive facial hair. So there you go. If you have a very impressive mustache, if you have some rather sort of daunting facial furniture, a large growth of hair on your upper lip, generally, this is what we call it for men. When you're a woman, you don't really want to point out if she has a few hairs on her upper lip. But for a man, this could be something they're proud of. And they show off. When you show off something, you're proudly displaying something. Hey, I've been going to the gym. Look at my muscles. And I, lift up the sleeve of my shirt and show off my new impressive muscles. In this case, it's impressive facial hair. I think they have one of these in Switzerland or Germany, too,
I would not doubt this at all.
I'm pretty sure.
With decorations in the mustache.
Yeah, and they turn them into artworks.
Yep.
If you just want to look up world's biggest mustache or something, I'm sure the pictures on Google will make you go, oh my Lord. Like, you think you've seen a big mustache? You have no idea. We get some idea here. Some mustaches are over 2 meters long.
Oh my.
So basically, if you stretch your arms out, tip to tip, they would be longer than your arms stretched out, from either side. And these guys, I think they keep them rolled up in hair curlers normally, because they're just too big to sort of get out. But when they do these competitions, they kind of use a whole can of hairspray, and they kind of have them nice and stiff and straight. So they're very impressive. This is more than just a couple of weeks of growing your mustache, growing your beard, the hair on your face and your upper lip. This is like a lifetime of that.
This is the Texas Longhorns of mustaches, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
I think of Hercule Poirot from because he always had, but he didn't have a big mustache, but he had a very he would put the oil in his mustache.
Yeah, especially the movie version, the Kenneth Branagh mustache. I think was a little too impressive, but kind of like that, but just change the sort of the elaborateness of his mustache for just pure size.
Size. Yeah. Okay, so beyond this mustache story, we've got a lot going on there. We also have something else that's probably going to create a lot of contagious energy as well. The tug-of-war tournaments also generate tremendous enthusiasm, with teams from different villages competing fiercely while spectators cheer loudly from the sides. So you know tug-of-war, you got some people on the one side, some people on the other side. They're pulling on a rope. They see who's the strongest. I can imagine in the desert there's going to be a lot of guys not wearing a lot of shirts, trying to show how strong they are and pulling on this tug-of-war rope and creating this tug-of-war tournament. You have a tournament most of the time when you have multiple teams competing to win the top prize. You might have a basketball tournament, a 3-on-3 tournament. You might have a sand volleyball tournament. Any kind of a competition where you have a bunch of teams coming together and competing maybe over a couple of days or at least over a couple of hours. That's going to be a good tournament. And yeah, that's also generating some enthusiasm, but not a little bit. It's generating tremendous enthusiasm. So you can see how this enthusiasm could be contagious. Enthusiasm being excitement and interest and engagement in the thing. So everybody's out there going, yeah, we love you. You can win this tournament. And the teams from these different villages are competing fiercely. They're competing aggressively. They want to win. They're not just going there and going, I don't need to pull on this rope. You're okay. They're on there and they're fighting and they're digging their feet in the ground and they got their biggest guy at the back who's pulling and pulling and pulling. And the spectators, the people who are looking on, are cheering loudly from the sides.
Very cool. I still think the Taiwanese women's tug-of-war team could beat them all.
Maybe.
Have you seen that video of them? I think they're beating the Thailand men's tug-of-war team, and the Taiwanese women just eat them for lunch. But yes, this is a fun thing, but it's also, it is for fun when they have these tug-of-war contests between different towns and stuff. It is for sort of pride, but, no one's really betting big money on it or anything. But the Camel Beauty Contest, let's get back to that. It says the Camel Beauty Contest is undoubtedly the star attraction. So all the dances and the music and the mustaches and the tugs of war, these are all just window dressing for the star attraction. These are the warm-up acts. These are the appetizers for the main meal of the Camel Beauty Contest. It is undoubtedly, without a doubt, there's no argument, the main thing. It's at the top of the bill. It's the big thing that what are you here for? The camel competition. That's what most people would say. So how does it go? Well, owners carefully groom their animals, just like models will be groomed by hairdressers and makeup artists. When you groom something, you kind of, fix it and prepare it and make it physically attractive, especially with hair and things like that, trimming their fur into creative patterns and decorating them, the camels themselves, with bright fabrics, bright pieces of cloth. Maybe they, tie cloth into their tail, into their mane, the hair on their neck and things like that, and colorful ornaments. So you'll have camels with necklaces, maybe even earrings, maybe in gold jewelry on their ankles or things like that, just to make them as physically beautiful as possible, as the dressers at a fashion competition or a fashion show will dress up the models to look their best.
And the judges evaluate the camels based on their health, grooming, and overall appearance. So they have categories, right? A lot of times when you have a competition, you might have a talent category or a bathing suit category and an evening dress category. Here the categories are your health category, your grooming category, and your overall appearance. And the judges will evaluate. They will look over and judge. They will decide who is the best. The bond between each camel and its owner is evident. It's clear to see. You can easily see that each camel and its owner are big buds, with every detail reflecting the time, care, and effort put into getting ready for this grand event. I don't think this is said to be funny. I think this is real. I think this is quite seriously a big event, and there is a lot of time that's going into everything and a lot of care and a lot of effort. So the groomers, the guys who are raising their camels, they're taking really, really, really good care of these camels.
Oh, yeah.
And as the sun sets, so at the end of the day, it just means that, right? The Pushkar Fair continues to shine with tradition, color, and celebration. Tradition because we have, these different competitions that come out every year, like this beauty contest, like the mustache contest, like the tug of war contest to see which town is the best. Color because we have the beautiful colors coming up on the camels as they're getting decorated with their ornaments and stuff. And celebration because anytime people gather together and have a really good time, they're having a celebration. A cultural experience that stays in people's memories long after the desert dust settles. Let's listen now to our Chinese teacher.
同样就到了第3段啦。那你说这个 Pushkar Fair 里面到底有哪些活动啊？难道只有选美吗？没有诶，现在演变成一个好像这种文化嘉年华当中啊。其实第3段第一句告诉我们，大家最期待的这个 event 其实还是传统的一个舞蹈比赛这个表演 The traditional dance performances。当然表演就会有 dancer 啦，所以第3段的第2句还蛮重要的，因为 dancers 后面的 dressed 一直到第4题，这边我们先左右括号，你看得出它是一个关系子句的简化吗？省略的是 who 或者是 that， be dressed in， 所以其实还有一个 be 动词的 are， 有没有？好，身穿很亮的传统的衣服服饰，第4格你看到这边应该就会选 D。costumes， 因为特殊目的的服装的衣服嘛，戏服嘛，就会用 costume。好，那还有什么别的一些表演呢？有，我们来看到第4句 ，another highlight， 我们曾经有帮大家复习过，在列举当中，一个、另一个，还有第3个，只要是第2个没列举完的，都会用 another。好，另外一个 highlight， 另外一个重点啊，就是最长胡子的比赛了。好，先看一下胡子这个字。Mustache 这个胡子啊，通常指的是嘴巴跟鼻子中间的，就是所谓的八字胡啦，通常是指的是八字胡。当然在英文当中对胡子有各种不同的名称，但是这一句不能放过哦，因为其实它也有逗点之后的 where， 对不对？我们来复习看看。所以先行词是 the longest mustache competition 逗点 where， 在竞赛当中副词，完整子句Local man proudly 主词 show off 动词 their impressive 什么样的 hair 啊？胡子不是长在那个脸上的吗？所以第6格选 A 的 facial。当然来到了最后面啊，我们看到第4段。第4段呢的第2句特别注意一下，因为第8格你在选的时候啊，这个第8题你可能会想很久。其实最后面这一段的第2句啊，真正的动词出现在第3个字叫做 groom， 就是梳理。所以这个骆驼的养饲者啊，他很小心的梳理啊他们的动物。然后还有另外2个动词，其实是 and 省略的分词构句，第8格的 trimming， 还有后面 and 之后的 decorating。所以最后面的 and 是用来连接分词构句当中的2个 ing， 就是第8题的 trimming 跟 decorating。所以大家有兴趣还可以再多搜集一些资讯哦。我是 Anna， 我们下次见。
So Mike, next year, you're going to be doing the mustache competition.
Okay. Maybe next year's 2026, maybe 2036.
It might be a little
Give
longer.
me 10 years or so. I don't know if I can do it in 1 year, but thank you for believing in me and how hairy my face can get.
For English Digest, I'm Leah.
And I'm Hairy Mike.
Have a good celebration time.